Opportunities for new winners and new podium finishes, and as we kicked off here at the Red Bull Ring for round 6, it was quick to take prisoners as drivers pushed to get themselves up the grid as we started the second half of the season. Bruno Del Pino in the MP Motorsport car trying to push his way through the order, found himself into a collision, but out in 4 years as James Wharton went to the podium and straight to the top of it for the first time.
Hello everybody and welcome to all of the action here for the FIA Formula 3 feature race, coming to you from the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. I'm underway with the feature race, a 45-minute race getting underway shortly, and I think, Omi, it's going to be another classic event we've got coming up here today.
Yep, yesterday was absolutely extraordinary in terms of racing and also in terms of chaos, and I think we're going to get more of the same as well. Big day today for Nico Solov and the driver directly alongside him for Brad Benavides, and a big day for Kamara in a different way as he tries to make his way up to the field to try to keep and maintain his championship lead at the front of the field.
Tom, battles all the way throughout yesterday in the sprint race. The feature shouldn't be any different. Still no pit stops, but a lot more quick going at the line.
With all the drag races and all the wheel-to-wheel battles, what we saw yesterday, I think we could be in for more of that. Maybe even an unpredictable result, maybe even a new winner if Brad Benavides and co can help the situation.
Let's check in then with the world feeders to get ready for the starting grid.
So yeah, it's going to be an action-packed race, and as you say, from my opinion, Rafa Kamara needs to show that he can overtake, because yesterday he struggled to make his way forward.
He really did, and that found himself a little down the order. We did have some penalties as well. Let's pick those up in just a second. But first of all, let's go through the grid. So this is our feature race, full Grand Prix points available, and this is how they qualified on Friday. 13 cars getting ready to go racing. This is how they'll line up. Makes his debut in Formula 3 this weekend. Nikita Johnson will go from 30th but finished 18th yesterday. He's alongside Gerard Sheen. Christian Ho takes a 5-place grid penalty for the collision he had down at turn 3. He's alongside Nicola Marinangeli. James Headley back after an injury at Monaco. He's alongside Ivan Dominguez. And then we have Matias Zagazeta and Jesse Galasquedo in for his second weekend in FIA Formula 3. Lawrence Van Hoopen is next along. Louis Sharp had his first DNF of the season yesterday. He's been very consistent. Let's see if he can keep that consistency back going today. Tuka Tapanen is next, was involved in that turn 3 collision yesterday. He's alongside Teofil Nile. And then we have Roman Belinsky on row 9, back to where he started off the serving a grid penalty yesterday alongside Tim Tramnitz. Santiago Ramos and Martinius Stegchon are next on row 8. And then is Mary Boyer, who moved forward to 5th place yesterday. Noel Leon is alongside him on row 7. Row 6, our winner yesterday, his first podium and his first win. Alessandro Giusti now up to 5th place in the championship after 9 consecutive points finishes and 2 podiums in a row. The Austrian, Charlie Wirtz, is going to be on row 5 with the driver who collided into him yesterday, Brando Badoer. Ugo Ugochukwu lost his podium yesterday with a penalty. He's alongside current championship leader Rafa Kamara. And then we have Callum Boys in next and Senapol Inchapuvizak for Campos Racing. Bruno Del Pino got a podium at Imola in the sprint race. Can he go back there for the first time in a feature race? Can Noah Stromstead get his first win? Can Brad Benavides do the same? He's put AIX Racing on the front row in FIA Formula 3 for the first time. Our last American winner was Jack Crawford here 3 years ago at the
And we're getting ready now for the formation lap, Omi, as away we go. And a sunny morning here. Track temperature 35.8 degrees, air temperature 20.3. everyone off the grid smoothly today, which is the better news. No one going into the pit lane.
Yep, no one heading into the pit lane, which is always nice to see. And let's hope they'll all be able to make their way round as well off the line further back. And it appears like we have all got the 30 cars through as they prepare for this feature race, which of course there is still no mandatory pit stop in Formula 3, so they will need to try and nurse this home for a few extra laps than they did yesterday.
What do you think's going to happen in this race, Tom?
I think Solov will get off to a decent start. It's just whether Benavides and that will keep up with him. But Solov has been the man banging form at the moment, especially in both feature and sprint races. But it is Rafa Kamara who has the advantage. But this is a chance for Solov to change just that. We've got interviews.
We didn't really look for toe, especially the first set, and then put it all together on the second one with a little bit of toe. So. Yeah, it's been on pole probably for the two most important races this year, home of Red Bull, and I mean Monaco is always a great feeling, so I'm looking to add up to it as well. I have an advantage that I saved the new tire setting quali. So again, long race, easy to overtake, so I wouldn't be too worried if there's a lead loss, but ideally I would want to lead all the way.
Some Solov as well, who today, Omi, has a good advantage to try and close another championship lead as well on Kamara.
He very much does, and if Kamara gets caught up in the mid-pack, Solov just needs to make sure he maintains the advantage at the front of the field, and if he can do so, then he's going to get a huge opportunity as well, will Nicholas Solov, and he's going to try to do what James Morton did yesterday, and that's lead all the way, but it's Kamara, Solov, and Tim Traminitz, who starts all the way down in 17th position today, and then we've got Stromstad and Giusti completing our top 5 when it comes to our Formula 3 Championship. We've already completed the halfway mark, we're in round 6 out of 10, and it's the feature race on Grand Prix Sunday, so all still yet to play for, and it's the big one where we can see huge swings, especially to the championship battle we were just telling you about.
Onto the grid then we come. Fingers crossed it's going to be a smooth run down towards turn number 1. 45 minutes ahead of us then for this one. That's good stuff. After yesterday's shenanigans in the sprint, we need a good, clean race to get going. They line up 2 by 2. Down towards the first corner is going to be a very key factor as well. Solov will be on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, Brad Benavides, that's the inside in towards turn number 1. They've extended the grid here back 10 years ago from when they rolled in. Now waiting for the green lights to come on. It takes an eternity, I mean, when there's 30 cars in the field. They literally do not move.
Yeah, they're all taking a while to get themselves into position with it being 30 cars, but they will do so in a few moments' time, and we'll get ready to go racing here in Spielberg.
Nikita Johnson lines up along the back in 30th position alongside Gerard Z. We are ready then for the feature for FIA Formula 3 to get underway. Green flag at the back. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out, very quick as well. It's a stall on the grid coming as well from Tanasa Bolli to Privazak. Very slow to get going and also slow to get going as well. Was that Bruno Delpino? Can't quite tell from the angle. Into turn 1 we go. Everyone's got through cleanly so far. No, little bit of wing damage coming through as they head down towards turn 3. So into the lead has gone Solov. He's kept the lead from Brad Benavides, Noah Stromstad. Then Ugo Gachiru, Brandon Berdoa up into 5th position as well. Yellow flag still out there at the line, Omi.
Yeah, we lost Bruno Delpino quite early on from P4, so he did not get off the line very, very well, but it is still Solov leading, but Brad Benavides giving him chases. Kamara is just squeezing out Brandon Berdoa further back and is taking that position.
Yeah, and Tom as well. Everyone did very well. 3 cars slow away from the grid, and everyone avoided it with such precision. It was brilliant.
If the Privazak was one of the other ones to have been slow getting away, so that's a real body blow there for Iva Privazak, down to 15th position as they come round to complete the second sector of the lap of this 26 lap race. It's going to come down to who looks after the tyre who looks after the tyres the most before the end of the race. That's going to be a key factor, especially with this soft compound of which the F3 cars are running.
So into Rin, as we now see Bruno Dupino trying to gain up a couple more positions as well from where he is. My Boya in 9th. We've got green flag conditions, so they've all got out the start line better. They wouldn't have to put out the safety car, which is what we've seen here in previous years. Uphill in towards turn number 1 then. The Niki Lauda curve. Solov leads, Benedives, Stromstead, Ugachiru, Kamara, Badoa, Vozin, and Ramos only into the pits.
Yep, Santiago Ramos comes into the pit lane, does the Mexican driver. Talking about another Mexican driver, Leon was trying to make a move further back. He's not the only one. You've got Badoa, who is just defending from Callum Woyton. He's getting some great traction off the corner. You've got Del Pino versus Carrasquedo versus G as well, as Noah Stromstead tries to attack Brad Benavides for second place.
Inside line down towards Socha's goal. Got to be very careful as well. Benavides will give him enough room, but he's on the outside line. He takes on a little bit of the gravel, and Stromstead will still battle his way at the outside into Predict. No, he's got it, so Stromstead has to back out of it. Kind of see that coming, but there's several positions that can come through on the inside. Through the Woods curve then as well. Up towards turn 9 at the rink curve. And Stromstead still battling in hard. Yeah, he's backed out of it. Solov though, 1:25.503. He's got the fastest lap.
Yeah, Benavides just making his way wide, and it's going to give Stromstead the momentum, not only to wait till turn 3 Remus, he might even be able to get it into turn 1.
Outside manoeuvre, nothing. So they'll have to rethink that. And DRS now active, Tom, so several overtakes about to happen.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot here. Stromstead going through, and watch over Ugachuga, who's probably going to go to the right-hand side of Benavides, but he's following through the same path as what the Trident has done. Ugachuga to the outside, into the Remus curve. He gets the car slowed down. He goes to, as well as Stromstead, and someone's gone off in the background there. One of the Red Bull Junior cars, I think it might be Tim Trumnitz, who's gone off the road. But we're looking at Ugachuga, who's going for a move on Stromstead for second place into the Shosgold corner. Stromstead will have to get his elbows out, and does so as we look at Rafa Kamara, who runs out onto the gravel a little bit as he goes after Benavides.
Bosnia's in there too, having to lift off. He's in a side-by-side battle right now as well. Rafael Kamara, he has to back out of that one. Nearly gets onto the gravel at the exit of Pirelli as they come through the Woods curve. So Solov leads, Benavides moves down the position. So it's Stromstead up into second. Ugachu up 5 places, Kamara up 4. And Benavides down now to 7th place after being in second. So massive upset, Omi, as soon as the DRS gets activated.
Yep, he finds himself dropping down quite a lot there. Solov absolutely loving life due to the battling that there was between Benavides and Stromstead. He's pulled a gap to 2 seconds, and now Stromstead will be under pressure from Mugo Gachuku on the podium yesterday, trying to become on the podium today as well. We were discussing earlier on about how Benavides could become the first American in a few years to get on the top step of the podium. It could be heading Ugo Gachuku's way, as meanwhile Giusti attacks Benavides, Stenchon attacks Boya into turn number 3. Inside
line again. Oh, and just a little bit over the curb as well from the MP. Is that a broken rear suspension? Ugachiru, I think, has got a problem as well. He's now having to defend the inside line. He's backed off quickly, but I think it's that. Well, it could be Zagazet, I didn't see, but one of the blue, he's stopped at the top of the hill, got over the curb, and then it's gone. The engine's gone. No sign of the yellow flags though.
Wait and see soon enough as they come through turn 7 and 8 here. The Formula 3 cars, Ugachuga into second place, making up for the disappointment of yesterday when he was penalised for leaving the track and gaining an advantage when he was passing another driver. Ugachuga, who sits 25th in the championship standings, he needs a strong result here in what's been a disappointing season for both him and for Prema.
TFL now has moved up into 11th position. Traminit still in 10th as they come across the line. Bruno Del Pino down now, battling for Belinsky.
Yep. Those are some of the overtakes that we've had on the previous lap, and now on lap number 5 out of 26, it is time to get some more. Ugo Gachuku with the fastest lap of the race as he tries to close back in the gap, but is bringing a whole train with him as they arrive up down to Remus, and on the brakes we're going to go in a few moments time, thinking about the late lunge, and that is going to be the McLaren Junior. Ugo Gachuku further back is ahead, then you've got Stenchon trying to make some moves and Beddoa in there as well. So into Pruvazak, Bruno Delpino got nowhere as we all mentioned off the line. It was Bruno Delpino who really got the terrible start. He really bogged down all the way to the back of the field. Into Pruvazak was still able to recover to P15, so all was okay with that one, Tom, as we watched them make their way through the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, there was a car spinning. I think it might have been James Hadley who was spun around in the IX, and a bit of debris being flicked up there. One of that's from Rafa Kamara's car. Doesn't seem to be affecting him so far. This is Rafa Kamara's on board. So he goes round into Pubasak and through past Delpino. So good, well done there to Kamara for avoiding those two. And he might just get a little bit of contact on the exit of turn 1 here, where he slides wide over the sausage curve as he comes out of the Niki Lauda curve. And he lost a couple of positions as a consequence, but he's been able to make up for that in due course. Brando Beddoa, who has yet to score so far this season, he's going for his first points finish of the campaign after a disappointing day yesterday.
Yeah, I can just inform the viewers, Kamara has moved up to 3rd position. So there we go. Now we're back to live pictures, so we're able to see that. Kamara moves up then to P3. He was able to get ahead of Stromstead. Meanwhile, Benavides having to look in the mirrors because he's got Mari Boyer thinking about the inside line, but not able to make the move and get there. He'll get another chance down towards turn 4 as Leon gets P13.
Still side by side into the braking zone as they try and swing it back. You can see already Prema in a bit of a ding-dong as well. Oh, and that's, there we go, that's Brad Benediva's getting everything pushed off him as well, coming through turn 4. And losing out to Chamnitz, TFML and Wirtz, going down in his 12th position now. Just trying to see where the Premas were, as we have no Strom said.
Maximum respect between the two teammates. Maximum respect between the two teammates.
Well, that was kind of expected, really, wasn't it, as well? You've got to respect your teammate. There's Kamara now. This is that battle down to turn 4 with Stromstead.
This is what I was telling you about. We missed it when the replays were going on. Kamara's going to send it around the outside. Stromstead's late to the brakes. And Kamara will just use the outside line, stand on the power, keeps it within the white lines, and goes the long way round on his teammate Noah Stromstead. So Kamara is able to take that position. And now he'll go and hunt down Ugo Gachuku. And he'll also want to then go hunt down his championship rival. But Kamara recovering well. And let's see whether he can get to work immediately down towards Remus.
Uphill into the inside line. And he's got ahead of Ugo Gachuku. Locked up though, goes too deep. And Gachuku comes back at him on the inside line. Puts the pedal down, and yeah, is that going to allow anything to come back in from Noah Stromstead? So the two teammates, Tom, still battling out as well over 3rd and 4th, and Ugo just getting in the way. Oh, and he'll switch away on the inside.
Dive bombing.
That's good, go on.
Great. Yeah, dive bombing his way through there, Rafa Kamara. Nicely done. Ugo might come back on the inside if he thinks about the switcheroo, but Kamara preempts that and holds his line into turn 6. Nicely done there from Kamara. Up into 2nd place he goes. The next man ahead of him is his nearest championship rival, Nicholas Solov.
There we go. Yeah, lap 7 of 26, about to come lap 8. Solov leading with a comfortable margin of 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, I could hear the crowd even cheering a little bit when Kamara made that move. It's not often that you get a cheer like that in a feeder series race, but you've got Kamara on the charge, you've got Kamara on the attack, and we could be about to see the two title contenders in a couple of lap time battle their way through. The fastest lap now belongs to P8 Mari Boyer, the Campos driver pushing on. The two McLaren Juniors of Beddoa and Stenchon are not separated by anything as well, those two drivers. The only ones who are contesting that McLaren livery, of course, with Brando Beddoa, with Ugo Gachuku rather, using a black liveried carbon car as we arrive down to the braking zone and continue to see the battle as we see Boyer try to see whether he can move up.
Yeah, Boyer's still stranded as well after earlier on in the race. To see Callum Vosin directly ahead as well in 5th position, and this is Ugo Gachuku getting overtaken around the outside line by Noah Stromstead for 3rd position. So the two Tridents now running 2nd and 3rd, Tom, and Ugo Gachuku, well, we saw his tyres. Oh, there's Kamara.
Rafa, you must drive very, very clean with the steering wheel. Drive clean and pay attention to the beacon braking, okay?
Just be careful with tyres then, basically, as well, coming through. Yeah, and Tom, it's a shame for Gachuru because he's got the talent, but the pace has not been in that car this weekend at a fast circuit. He doesn't fit well.
No, and you know there was something that was going around yesterday of that he's gone for a black livery to help with the weight distribution with the car, and it seems to have somewhat of an effect on the machine. I don't know if that's genuinely the case, but it has been better this weekend compared to the previous. And now we're seeing the two McLaren juniors of Bedoya and Stenson going into a combat of their own. Let's hope that they can actually keep it clean between the pair of them, particularly Bedoya, who has been on the receiving end of criticism of late as he goes to the inside to defend from the Norwegian. Locked up. Does he leave him enough room? He does so. Get through the corner together. Stenson goes past.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is collide. They're not teammates in this one, but they are still part of the McLaren Driver Academy. And Bedoya, so far this weekend, Omi has been, well, everyone's been questioning, does he really deserve to be in Formula 3? Several silly mistakes and causing accidents. We now look at Tim Traminitz having a go on Boyer.
Yeah, here we go, dipping a tyre onto the grass, feeling brave. You'll back out of that one, and you'll let Boyer run in deep. You'll try to get a better traction. Great traction of the corner, but it won't be great traction that gets him ahead. Boyer just able to come over and cut across him as well, so the Red Bull Junior has to stay in behind for a couple of corners more as he still closes in. Is the chance going to be there into turn 9? He's really forcing Boyer to go on the defensive, and it's also meaning that Boyer is offline through these parts of the circuit as he'll try get a strong toe. They'll all have DRS due to how close they are to the cars ahead, but if he can try and get his rival offline and go for the move then there could be a great opportunity as we're on lap number 10 out of 26 of this FIA Formula 3 feature race, and that's all over the road as Boyer now also tries to make a move of his own as he tries to get past Bedoya.
Tries for a look on the inside line. Not going to go out, so choose the outside, and you know, that's a bit tight as well, and out of absolutely nowhere Boyer's come in, but he's got a bit too wide. Traminitz going to do the old switch back on the inside, 3 wide, gets the inside traction Omi down towards Socha's goal, and now just foot to the floor action.
Double overtake for Tim Traminitz. He says thank you very much as Boyer and Bedoya ran each other out wide. Boyer doesn't want to give it up. He's trying to fight deep late on the brakes. He can't do it though. And they're back to single file as we make our way through. Woyzen just staying ahead of Stenson as well.
Dominguez has dropped a couple of places as well, so he's gone wide, I think, coming out of turn 3. Fast first sector for Traminitz, 20.8 as well, Tom. Now he's making his way through. Those who have saved the tyres can now pretty much start pushing hard.
Yep. I wonder how much of the tyres Solov has taken out of, because he's been able to manage the gap so far on Kamara. It's Kamara who's now out of DRS range from Stromstead, which will give the Brazilian the opportunity to just pull away. We just saw an overtake from Wirtz on Bedoya now. Bedoya out of the points as he really is struggling on his tyres.
Shame maybe at the moment, isn't it? Go on.
Yeah, Bedoya is really struggling with his tyres. He has cooked it basically at the moment as Benavides, who's had struggles of his own today, wants to get by into Niki Lauda curve, and he's going to do so, and it was tight on the way in, and it means on the way out the teammates are wheel to wheel, and Noah Leon will stand on the power and will surely take the position, but you're also going to see Lawrence Van Hoopen there for company as well.
That's going to be tied to the braking zone. So close to contact between all of them as they come in. And surely it will be. But still, somehow, Lawrence Van Hoopen will go side by side with Noel Leon down towards Socha's goal, and coming around the outside line comes Brandon Bedoya. That's not an opportunity to go 3 wide. The outside line is the least effective. He has to back out of it. And through. Oh, there's contact there as well. Wing damage to Bedoya.
Yeah, that is surely going to be damage on the McLaren Junior car. We'll have a look at the state of his front wing as they go through Pirelli corner. Yeah, he's lost another place there, has Bedoya. He's going from bad to worse. I think the front wing is broken. I think slightly askew is that that Prema there. Yeah, he's dropping back all the time there. The car is not going through the corners as sweetly as normal. And now he's going to be under attack here from Carrasquedo and what looks like Lewis Sharp that's gone through.
Slow.
Yes, he's got a puncher.
Yeah, Bedoya slow coming into the pit lane. Suspension damage, as you call, so he's out of the race.
Yeah, he went into the back of his teammate Noel Leon there as well, as they were all battling their way through this part of the circuit. We've got Zagazeta up against Louis Sharp, a driver who we saw in the Race of Champions earlier this year as well. made a name for himself there. As we continue the racing and continue the battling, Tim Traminitz up the outside. He'll try to get past Callum Boyden, having a decent race today. Traminitz can't do so. He'll try to get the cut back, but you're also then going to see Boyer slipstreaming, and we could be in for another 3-wide moment if these lot aren't careful. If Tim Traminitz cannot make the move very, very quickly, and he's going to go tight to the inside. He's looking to the inside, looking to the outside. Neither way works for him, and the Red Bull Junior still is going to have to sit in behind unless he can try something inventive later on in the lap.
There's the suspension damage for Brandon Badoa. So he is out of the race. They can't fix that so quickly in the race, and the stewards won't allow him, so out he goes. And this is how it happened, Tom. As you said, just a small little touch.
This is going to be over. So this is contact, actually, or with the Van Amersfoort racing car. And also partly maybe down to the fact he went over the sausage curb at turn 3, which can do the suspension all the more damage. I mean, these cars are not designed to really ride over those sausage curbs very well, not to mention Alex Peroni in 2019 at Monza. But the race is on still for probably the podium positions, because Ugochukwu, believe it or not, is got within DRS range of Stromstead, and we could well see an overtake from him in the near future as we see Traminitz go through on Voisin for 6th position, and Boyer fancies a go with it on the road in motorsport, pushes him out wide, and that's going to allow Teofil Knowles to also get involved in this. This is absolutely brilliant overtaking, brilliant battling all the way through the field as we see Ugochukwu go to the inside of Stromstead.
And he touches the rear of the bike as well, so that's a little bit more of an issue, and off goes Callum Wilson as well at turn 4, Omi, or getting forced out wide. Bit of hot heads there.
Yep, absolutely. That was really, really tight. Ugo Ugochukwu tried to make the move, so it is Solo at the front, then Kamara, then we get to this battle with Stromstead, Ugo Ugochukwu and Martinia Stenshorn. So the two McLaren Juniors in 4th and 5th at the moment, and they will also be bringing the Red Bull Junior of Tim Traminitz, who is in his 2nd season of the FIA Formula 3 category. We go through turn number 9. We arrive to the Red Bull Mobile, and we arrive to it with Noah Stromstead dipping a rear tyre into the gravel, and it means that you can see how much that he is pushing on, and he's a driver who's been close to the win on so many occasions. He's on a podium position for the moment, but for how much longer? Because Ugo Ugochukwu wants to make it a double of podiums from this weekend, and Stenshorn will want to get back there as well. And then you've got Traminitz and Boyer, along with Niall, Wurz and Voisin and Van Hopen. They are the entire train that are there, and now Ugo Ugochukwu attacks on the brakes around the outside.
Trying to go for it, can't get a move in, opens the door up as well to the inside line and makes the move stick. Martin Steinshaw going in well. Now he'll chose in to the outside line of Noah Stromstead. He's done that with ease, actually. And Ugochukwu trying to find a way through around the outside of the pair of them down at Soldiers Gold. Can't find a way through. So Steinshaw going to fight with Ugochukwu now for what is 4th and 5th positions.
Stenshorn's come through the field rather nicely, hasn't he? Because he was well outside the top 10, I think, at the start, and now he's up into 3rd position is the Norwegian, coming through the field very, very nicely indeed. But Ugochukwu is now in a fight with Tim Traminitz, who's slowly but surely coming through the field as well. The man who is high up in the championship coming into this. He was 3rd coming into this race on a run of good form as well. And there's still plenty more racing to come in these final 12 laps here in Austria.
Still pushing hard as on board with Tim Traminitz. Oh, and the rear sliding over the curb as well. And that's also my Boyer going a bit too wide, Omi.
Yeah. Let's see, what are we going to get this time around? Ugo Ugochukwu will surely need to look in the left and the right mirror now, because Tim Traminitz is going to be late on the brakes, arriving up to Remus. He'll try to get the better traction off the corner and make this a battle down towards turn number 4. He'll be tucking in the slipstream. They've both got DRS, but Traminitz has an intent to make the move this time by. Leon gets up to 13th and gets past James Wharton, and on the brakes we go. Traminitz can't get there. Further back it is going to be Teofil Knowles versus Mary Boyer, and Mary Boyer will hold on to the position, but Tim Traminitz has got much better traction, and he may get the chance into turn 6 to try and make this move.
Oh, that's very tight from Traminitz on the outside line. Should be able to get the traction and does so. So moves ahead. Finally, But look at the state of the tyres, Tom, already after 15 laps. They're starting to get shredded like cheese graters.
Yeah, but that's the thing with this circuit. It does actually degrade the tyres quite massively. They are using the soft compound, so it is designed for this particular circuit to help promote some overtaking opportunities, some wheel-to-wheel battling. But they are coming through now. This is Stromstead, who's at the head of this. He's got Tramnitz behind. He's out of DRS range as well, as Stromstead, which will make it even more difficult for him to defend. But also watch out for Uga Chukri, who has been at it all weekend, really, with the standards of his driving. But now he's looking to get through on Tramnitz as he heads towards Remus again.
This has been very brave on the brakes on the inside. Nope, not going to be there, unfortunately. Okay, Amy, back to you.
Yep, absolutely. As we make our way down towards turn 4, let's see what we're going to get this time around. So Traminit's getting by. Ugo Gachuku, though, wants to take the place immediately. He's been a driver who's come alive this weekend, and he doesn't want to give it up. He's not the only one. Charlie Wers, the Austrian, up against Van Hoopen, who's gained 12 places since he started the race. Same applies to Stenshorn. Same applies to Tim Traminitz, who's come all the way from 17th up to 5th. You've got Boya ahead of Ugo Gachuku, who was trying to go one forward. He's gone one back, and it is going to be Ugo Gachuku who retakes that place. So all is okay. He's back to the place where he was initially. So after all of that, we end up with Traminitz in 5th. Ugo Gachuku is in 6th, and it's Boya in 7th. Niall is in 8th. Then it's Wers, and Lawrence Van Hoopen is in 10th place. All of this continuing to change lap after lap, but that's what Formula 3 at Austria delivers us with.
Absolutely, it's just a continual charge throughout the field, which is always nice to see. And I think also the feature a little bit more action-packed, Tom, than what the sprint was yesterday, to be fair, because this time they're all getting through okay.
4 drivers have made up 12 positions from their starting places. Stenshorn's one of them. He's up to 4th place so far from third place, I should say, from 15th. I think Niall's another one who's made up 12 places. Lauren Van Herpen, another one as well. And Callum Voisin. So 4 drivers have made up that many places from their starting spot. When we're seeing a battle here going on between Carrasquedo and James Watson, yesterday's race winner. Carrasquedo, who's only in his 2nd race weekend in this championship, having a better time of it here. He did so in Barcelona, and he's up to 14th place.
Let's take a replay of this battle then. So on the inside line is Tim Traminitz, Ugo Gachu on the outside, down to turn 4. Traminitz gets a little bit of a slide and knocks into Gachu. I don't know, that's a racing incident in my book. It was just a tiny little nut, wasn't it, Amy?
Absolutely. As the gravel gets kicked up by these Dallara built FIA Formula 3 cars. Still have Formula 2, the Porsche Super Cup, along with F1 to come here at the Red Bull Ring circuit on an action-packed day. And of course, we've also got MotoGP action coming up, so there's quite a lot going on today.
Thanks for reminding me.
In terms of motorsport. Yeah, there's your reminder as we make our way through turn number 1 and wait and see who's going to be dishing out the overtakes this time by. Stenshorn up against the championship leader, so we could see Kamara head backwards in a few moments time, because Stenshorn looks like a driver who wants to go on the attack. And talking about the attack, that's exactly what we're getting by Tim Traminitz, who makes his way through turn 3, tries to get the better traction and see whether he can attack. He's 2 tenths away from Noah Stromstead.
Still in a lot of battle as we come down to the braking zone. So this is Stenshorn battling with Kamara, as now further back. Finally, the move is done on the inside line. Noah Stromstead gets ahead of Tim Traminitz, and now Traminitz under pressure from Ugo Churu, who's trying to look around the outside into turn 6 and into the Woods curve. Nothing is going to be on a battle for that one, but yeah, Tom, it's just swapping positions now, saving the tyres to the end of the race, 18 and 26.
Yeah, and Kamara is under attack here from Stenshorn, who's been absolutely sensational in this race. So Kamara needs to be on his toes during the course of it. He may have to just play it safe and let Stenshorn go, because if he gets into a battle with him, as Stromstead runs wide on the exit, and that's easy picking for Traminitz.
Yeah, well, that's a mistake you can make, I mean, and Ugachu is going left and right. He's going to try and sing around the outside, but he's using up more of his tyres to try and get through. But he'll get a better exit out of turn 1 on the run up towards Remus. This should be easy, but is that also going to bring in Mari Boya? Yes, it does, with the DRS as well. So Stromsted's really under pressure now as they go 3 wide into the braking zone. Lead and change as well, further ahead as well for second, third position as we see again, unfortunately, getting pushed out wide. So Stencil's taking second position away from Kamara.
Yep, absolutely. Kamara drops down. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Stenchon's being allowed through by Kamara. I don't think Kamara is going to fight on this occasion because he knows he's got a big gap behind. But Ugochukwu is on the attack on Stromsted, who continues to struggle. And Boyer is about to go through on the pair with them.
Fabulous move from Mari Boyer. Ugochukwu going to let this one stand. He's got the inside line coming into turn 6. He will go through, but he's locked up. He takes them both wide. Stromsted's going to come back on the inside line down towards turn 7. Almost goes wheel to wheel and almost takes his front wing off Omi.
Stromsted having to back out of that one late second. Had it been slightly different, that could have been both of them out of the race at that moment. And now Nova Stromsted immediately having to look to the mirrors because surely Teofil Niall's going to be there as we approach turn number 9. And Stromsted stays ahead. And Niall tried his absolute best to get there and he couldn't do so. But the momentum really fluctuating between these drivers depending on who's running wide. Talking about running wide, that wasn't the best exit for Charlie Wurz. Laurent Van Hoopen's going to be there as we send it across the line. And here's the chance for Niall into turn number 1. Nicky Lauder curve. Can he take the place? As further back we see Charlie Wurz get up there and it is going to be Niall just ahead. He runs in deep though and it means we're going to battle still down to turn number 3 on this circuit, so this one isn't done yet.
Side by side on the inside line. Van Hopen losing out a couple more places and Ugochukwu is, yeah, he's done. He's done. 3 wide off the track as well. So running out wide was TFL now, and that's put him under pressure from Brad Benedives. That's a shame. Oh, don't go on the... No, Leon's trying to go through on the inside line as well. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, Leon's going through as Niall goes through the gravel, continuing to drop back. And we are seeing Belinsky go through on what looks like Lawrence Van Herpen for position as well. That's for... Oh, that's Callum Voisin. My apologies. That's him going through on Van Herpen for position as the ART goes through the gravel. Stenchon's now 5 seconds off the lead, so Solov can afford to take it easy. He's got to hope there's no safety car at some point. But with there being only 6 laps to go, I don't think we're going to be seeing a safety car unless we see something totally dramatic in the closing stages here at the Red Bull Ring.
You've done it now, haven't you?
Jinxed it.
Well done, Tom. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Well, they've behaved themselves so far. Let's see whether that will continue all the way till the end as we go into turn 1 once more. A deciding part of the circuit. It dictates your run that you get, and it looks like it's a good run for home favourite Charlie Wurz. He was taken out at the corner that we're approaching yesterday. Today he tries to make his way by further up the road. That is Ugochukwu just staying ahead of Mari Boyer as we rotate our way through. But Mari Boyer is going to surely get it on the way out though with DRS, and he's going to be waving up his hand as well to some degree as he gets past Ugochukwu into the braking zone.
Oh, outbreaking himself, though, coming out of it, and that's allowed Vossen to go through. Van Hopen late on the brakes, and through goes Callum Vossen now up into 9th position. There's a replay of that move, Tom. This is a lap ago.
This is on Voisin and Van Herpen at turn 6, and I wonder if the stewards will look at that, because it looked to me like Voisin pushed Van Herpen out onto the gravel. And there have been penalties dished out this weekend for drivers forcing another one off the track or leaving the track and gaining advantage. This is Teofil Niall riding over the curbs there, which had really upset the car's balance, hence why he lost so many places coming out of that. So it's been another weekend to forget, unfortunately, for Teofil Niall. And Stenchon isn't exactly getting the gap down. Kamara just staying in touch. I think he wants to stay within DRS range just so that he can stay ahead of Tramnitz, who is really closing in on Kamara at this moment in time. But watch out for Boyer and Ugochukwu, who are about to go into combat again, I think, JB.
Yep, as they come into it again, side by side. Little bit of being forced into it and off the circuit, unfortunately, Omi. Having to take a couple of emergency positions, and now we see as well Charlie Wurz taking Noah Stromsted.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see whether he's going to be able to do it as we arrive on the brakes into turn 4. And we're going to also, at the same time, see Van Hoopen versus Callum Boyden, who runs in deep. He's not the only one running in deep, as Charlie Wurz is going to have to lose the position momentarily. He doesn't want to give it up. Who gives an inch into turn number 6, which Trident will appear in front. It's still neck and neck, and it's Charlie Wurz who's ahead of his teammate. And that will definitely be getting a cheer in the grandstand. He was trying to make history yesterday, was Charlie Wurz. He was cruelly denied by Brando Badura, but today he wants redemption, and today he's absolutely chasing it. So he moves up to 7, Stromstead in 8, then it's Woisen, and then it's Van Hoopen, who's in 10th position. It's Solov in the lead by 5.3 seconds, and critically, Tom, Kamara has lost the 1 second, so if Traminit has some pace, he has to give it now.
Yeah, he's got to unleash it. They haven't got long to go, so this is going to come down to who's been able to preserve the tyres the most. As Van Herpen runs very wide on the curb there in his combat with Voisin for 9th position. Benavides is waiting in the wings, as is Noel Leon for the final points-paying positions. And Van Herpen and Voisin wheels to wheels. They enter Remus again here. Benavides still there. Benavides going to the inside. Van Herpen will have the high ground on the exit, taking a slightly wider line, and that's going to put him in the slipstream of the road in front. Now, which way is he going to go here, Van Herpen? He's probably too far back as Benavides heads to the outside, but Van Herpen's got that one covered.
He has indeed. So that's a position that has been secured. But Brad Benavides back in Formula 3, of course. Had a stint in Formula 2. Had a stint in Euro Formula in between that as well. And he was very nearly slotting himself up the inside into turn 6. That was late on the brakes, but he sits in behind. He was trying his best Dirksen impression, who's also part of that AIX team, which you can watch in a little bit in FIA Formula 2 as it holds its feature race as that approaches its halfway mark of the season. Nicola Solov about to get the 25 points for the victory, and he's going to be savouring them 100% as he's about to extend that record, the all-time win record. He's about to extend it in this Formula 3 category, and he is going to look to also use that to try challenge, as you've got one Red Bull Junior who's contesting Kamara in the championship. You've got one contesting him right now on the racetrack, as Tim Traminit is closing in, thinking about the lunge, down the inside, late on the brakes, and Tim Traminit will take the final spot on the podium as Kamara will drop down to P4, and that was tidy stuff. He was doubting it for a second, was Tim Traminit, Tom, but he went for it in the end.
He's got to defend, though, because Kamara will be in the slipstream even without DRS. The right rear tyre of Rafa Kamara's car tells you everything you need to know about how his race is going. He's got to hope that that doesn't fall into a complete major issue for him. And Mario Boyer, who has been able to preserve his tyres better, in my opinion, is now on the tail. This is all playing into the hands of Nicolas Solov's championship hopes as well. He went into this 18 points off Rafa Kamara in the championship. So if he can hold on as Boyer goes past Kamara with only a couple of laps remaining here, and Kamara's just got to hope the Checovo comes out soon enough here, because he really is not going anywhere right now.
No, he's not, and it's literally just been a backwards manoeuvre throughout this entire race so far. Solov, though, by 5.6 seconds can lead. Stencher in second. Then we get Tramnitz, Boyer, Kamara, Ukachuru, Vert, Stromstead, Vozin, and Lawrence Van Hope in the last points pay position. There's a car wide, top of the hill. I can't see who it is, only from this far back, but taking avoiding action, so we'll see who drops back. It's certainly outside the top 10 paying positions.
Yeah, absolutely. As we arrive down into Remus, and we're going to do so with a bit of a battle as Van Hoopen tries to see whether he can get past Callum Boyden, and he can do so on the exit as well. Kamara might be about to lose another place, because you've got directly in behind Ugo Ugachuku at the moment, and like we saw in Imola, Kamara's tyres are faded away at the end, and they're fading away in a big way for him, and it's really costing him as we continue the battle. And Ugo Ugachuku to the inside, that might even be a contest. Kamara knows he can't fight it, and he just needs to try and get this one to the end with one more lap remaining to try and minimize the damage that he will be getting from this race, with Solov gaining a big chunk into the championship lead.
Coming over then to what will be the last lap of the race. Fingers crossed that Solov is going to take the victory as well. It'll be quite an interesting run. Black and white flag for TFL now for track limits has come into effect as well. Sort of 6.1 seconds coming through. A little bit wide of the exit curb. Not a bad feature race, actually. It's been quite quick. 45 minutes. We've done it in 35. So superb without a safety car to mention either. Here is Solov on course for a critical race win, isn't it, Omi?
Yep, critical race win to really get his championship battle going for proper as well. And he is entering himself into the conversation with every single session that we do at this stage. As meanwhile, Mari Boyer is right on the back of Tim Traminitz. He might run out of opportunities unless Tim Traminitz's tyres fade away right at the end. But this is for the final spot on the podium.
And Tom, even now, he said that Solov would have a weekend which was great. We didn't expect Stenshaw or Traminitz to come in and be this competitive.
Yeah, and at this stage of the season, it'll be 3 wins apiece for both Solov and Kamara, and they'll be very, very close in the championship standings after this one.
Nicholas Solov will exit the last corner and be greeted by the checkered flag for the 3rd time this season. From pole position to checkered flag, Solov dominates in Spielberg. Stenshaw in 2nd, Tramnitz 3rd, Boyer 4th, and Gachuru will come home in 5th. And Omi, a great battle throughout this entire race. F3 delivered on the morning.
Yep, they have started Grand Prix Sunday off in absolute style as well. And they started it with a drag race to the line, and Tappinen beats Dominguez to 22nd as well. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Box office stuff all the way from start to finish, and a great Formula 3 contest, which is won by Nicholas Solov.
Let's head down to the world feed.
Boy. Good on, boys. Good one. We keep going better, guys. That's how we want it. Let's keep going. Good job, team. Very proud.
What a drive from Nicholas Solov.
Yeah, faultless. As you say, at the start, he took advantage with Brad Benavides being there and just holding the guys up behind, managed to break that DRS very early and just pulled away, just disappeared in there, had it under control. I think he just didn't take too much out of the tyres early on. And, yeah, incredible drive.
Yes, thanks. Starting driving. Very good driving. Very good. Not so bad. Oh, I hope to have the whole floor on the car as well. Thank you, guys. Car was very good.
Come through from 15th on the grid to take that. And when Tim Tramnitz doesn't qualify well, it doesn't seem to affect him. 17th, and he finishes in 3rd place. 2 Red Bull Juniors on the podium at the Red Bull Ring. It's not a bad day for them.
No, it's not bad not to qualify at the front. On a circuit like this, you can overtake, but other places it's not quite so easy. But yeah, as you see them just driving offline now, just getting pickup on them tyres, trying to replace a bit of the rubber they've lost. But 2 incredible drives there.
Fantastic, man. The last 3 laps, I needed to go to the dentist, man. I couldn't see anything on the straight. It was shaking so much, my steering wheel.
Yeah, I think that was probably a result of a lock-up or maybe some pickup or something. As I say, you saw the marbles offline there. If they've just got a bit of a pickup on them tyres, it would have been a horrible vibration. So, yeah, they probably all would have been struggling with that towards the race.
With that performance, Nicholas Solov has well and truly given us a championship fight as we move into the final rounds of this championship. But for now, let's celebrate his win. Round 6 of the feature race. He becomes the 6th Red Bull Junior to win at the Red Bull Ring as he climbs out of his car and he extends his amount of record number of wins from 5. He goes to 6. He says, catch me to the rest of the drivers racing in FIA Formula 3. What a performance from Nicholas Solov. That's now 2 wins at the Red Bull Ring. He won the sprint race here last year, and now he comes back and wins the feature race this year. 2 podiums at this circuit for Martinius Stenshaw. He got a sprint race podium here last year, and now He gets a feature race podium for the first time in Formula 3 and in some style as well, gaining 13 places to do it. And Tim Tramnitz just held off Mari Boyer to take a podium finish. Well done to Tim Tramnitz, finishing with a 7th podium, and that is the status of our championship battle. It's looking a bit like a two-horse race, but I don't think we can count out Tim Tramnitz with that podium. He's kept himself in the fight, I'd say, with a recovery mission after a disappointing qualifying as we move into the final few rounds.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great drive from Tim Tramnitz. Qualified near the front, he'll be able to take the fight to them. But I think Kamara's going to need to just to regroup after this weekend. He didn't have a great qualifying 2 races where he's struggled to be on the pace of the leaders. And yeah, with that 1-point gap and Solov in the form that he's in, they're going to have to try and, like I say, regroup and just find a bit of pace before they go to Silverstone next week.
Yeah, he came into this with a 26-point lead. He leaves with a 1-point lead, and Nicholas Solov is the one that's going to be flying with confidence. He took pole position, took the win, and controlled the race from the front, really. It was a dominant display from Nicholas Solov, who immediately got into the lead and won by 6.6 seconds at the Red Bull Ring, which is pretty unheard of at this level.
Yeah, exactly. As we say, it's easy to overtake around here if you can stay in DRS, but he managed to break that DRS and just controlled the race from the front. Impressive, really impressive drive.
Yeah, took advantage, of course, of 2 drivers behind you. Struggled to get away. We had Brad Benavides just struggling to settle down into the race, but took advantage of that. And his pace in the early stages, I think it was build a gap and then look after the tyres. But at the end, I mean, 6.6 seconds is a huge gap.
Yeah, we saw the guys behind fighting, you know, Sven Shawn and Tramnitz coming through the field, and Kamara dropping back, so that obviously helped. But he always had the pace that he needed to. When he needed to open the gap, he was able to put a few more tenths on every lap. So yeah, like I say, really, really impressive, really in control, and clearly from being on pole position, you know, he had the pace that he needed.
He's the first Red Bull Junior to win here since Isaac Hadjar in 2022. So a really good display from Nikola Solov. Well done to him. Would have got a lot of support from the crowd. And 3 F1 back drivers all on the podium. Credit to Mari Boyer, who came through. That's another now F1 back driver. We've got 11 on the grid now. And the top 6, in fact, F1. Well done to him. I mean, he would have been bitterly disappointed with what happened yesterday, but came back very well today.
Yeah, 2 really strong races. You know, he finished on track on the podium yesterday, was in the fight for the podium again today. So they'll certainly be going away from it really positive with the performance they've had this weekend, because it looks like really competitive in both races.
Yeah, absolutely. And good points for him to add there. Charlie Wirtz as well. That's a good result for him. It was very disappointing what happened for him yesterday, but that's a nice result for him to end his home weekend.
You too. Actually, I was surprised to see you up there.
Yeah, but yesterday I was not so bad. But when the last safety car came out, I hit the front wing and I broke the floor and I lost like 140 kilo after. So I was not very quick at the end.
Yeah, that's big. To be fair, physically it was not that bad.
No. It was just warm.
Yeah, I was thinking like no safety cars probably get tough.
But I think for you guys were pretty quick because Boyer.
You got that then, no?
Yeah, he was catching me at the end.
Yeah.
Like I got him mid-race, and then the last 2 laps he was quite fast.
So Taz stalled.
Yeah.
What a shame. Almost spun in T1 in the start.
For us, the race was not that fun.
Ugo was so fast on the straight, right? Yeah. I had DRS and I was almost not catching.
She gets really good exits, no?
Yeah. Also T1. He braked super early and I almost went into the back of him on under braking.
Yeah.
And he just had a super good exit.
I felt the same with Just in Barcelona. He was killing me on the exits, like
Last corner. Or just
No, just like every slow speed, so like 5, 12, he was killing me. It's never still water here, no? So
no, it's a bit like it's a bit busy.
Oh, I was like saving so much, and then in lap 10 I felt it was getting tough with their ears, and I saw Kamara still pushing. I was like, oh my god, this guy's gonna drop so much.
For me it was a bit the opposite. Like I think mid-race I was quite quick, and from like 8 laps to the end I had quite a lot of vibrations.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, especially in 7 and then through 8, 9.
I think Nicola Solov was surprised to see Martini Stenshorn and Tim Tramnitz were joining him in there.
Yeah, but I think
Given where they started.
Yeah, exactly. But as we said, Nicola Solov saying that he was saving the tyres for most of the race, and then the rear started to drop away, and I was surprised that Kamara was still pushing and closing the gap. So yeah, we'll hear from Rafa Kamara at some point after the race about how he struggled, but it could have just been, he took a lot out of tyres. He made a lot of progress through the field to get himself to P2, and then just dropped off towards the end.
Red Bull Junior Tim Tramnitz comes out onto the podium. Climbed all the way from 17th. Well done to Tim Tramnitz. A brilliant performance from him to take his 7th Formula 3 podium. Back on the Red Bull Ring podium, this time on the feature race for the first time. Well done to Martini Stenshorn. And it's his 6th Formula 3 win for Nicola Solov. He's now just 1 point behind the championship leader, Rafa Kamara. To Nicola Solov, a 6th Formula 3 win now, extending his record number of wins in this championship, and a 2nd at the Red Bull Ring. This time, though, he is there as a Red Bull Junior. Backed by Fernando Alonso, of course, who will be very impressed with what he's seeing. He had a driver win the Formula 2 championship last year. Can he have a driver win the Formula 3 championship this year? Campos now just 5 points behind Trident in the team's championship. Martini Stenshorn, a first feature race podium for him. Well done to the McLaren back driver. That's going to do him very good in terms of the championship. He's now up to P4. And Tim Tramnitz, 3rd in the championship and clear from the rest of the chasing pack.
And now it's champagne time. What a race for Nicola Solov as well. Omi, final thoughts from you?
Well, an extraordinary Formula 3 event. It has been another exciting round, and now all eyes go to only a week's time. We'll be at Silverstone. That will be absolutely incredible. Cannot wait for Formula 3 there.
Tom, what about you? Final thoughts?
A weekend to remember for Solov, a record-breaking weekend, 6 wins now in Formula 3 for him, 1 point off the championship lead, heading to Silverstone. You never know what could happen there. I mean, if last year's races are anything to go by, with especially the feature race, which proved to be one of the Formula 3 races of all time, we could be in for a lottery of a Formula 3 round at that track.
It's going to be good. Next up, it's the MotoGP warm. That's on JBMotorsports 2, the World Feed, take you through that, and then we'll be on for Formula 2 at 8:55, so in around about half an hour's time. Join us for that. My thanks to Tom, my thanks to Omi and all of you at home. We'll see you later for all of the action. Bye-bye.